My name is Camila, and I am the owner of 10 Hour Care Daycare Center. I enrolled in the Jumpstart School of Systems because I wanted to have proven systems in place for a smooth operation in my daycare center. When I first started with the Jumpstart School of Systems, let me say in the last year, after I came from the conference, I had just lost my daughter, who was 23 years old. So I wasn't in a good place, but I felt God leading me to join and to join the 30K program. And I'll be honest in saying I was very hesitant because my head wasn't in that space. I knew where my head was, but as much as I was hurting and I was grieving and my family was grieving, I knew at the same time I had to go forward, but I was hurting a lot. And so and the funny thing is we're at the conference, and I had made up my mind I'm not going forward anything. Like I actually said that, like, I'm not buying nothing, I'm not doing nothing. Nope. And my husband was, and the more I listened, during the conference, I began to realize, like, what are you doing? And what is your goal? What are you trying to do? And as I begin to think about that, if I'm being honest, I'm an impulse buyer. So honestly, a lot of times if it sounds good, I'll buy it. And then later on, I'm like, oh boy, now I got to meet the commitment of me just jumping and buying something. And so this was the one time I had learned from the impulse buying so many things, like stand your ground. And so part of me was still standing my ground, but my husband was the one that said, you're supposed to do 30K program. And I knew it was God. That's how I always know something is God, because he'll come and confirm. And he's usually well, I'm the impulse buyer. He is I'm going to research everything out. I'm going to take a month, looking at every aspect before I make a move. And so, which kind of balances us out, when it comes to big decisions. But I knew that I just made a decision. I went forth and I followed my heart. I'm in a good place now, and it's been a year. But that process, I want to say that Dr. Andrea's leadership in my process of grief, of maintaining my business, of continuing to go forward, of dealing with staffing issues. Like nothing changed because my daughter passed. Like the whole city knew, like they know it, so they knew that happened. But that didn't change what happened in business. Business is business no matter what. And so I would say where I'm at now feels really good because that leadership was present the whole time. And of course, leadership is important in every aspect in your life, but in some of your hardest times, leadership can be pivotal, not just to your business, but to your life. And so I wanted to kind of touch on that. At first, I was thinking I wasn't going to, but I think it's important to say that because sometimes when we're not in a good space, we think it's not good to make big moves. But sometimes it is, because at the end of the day, when you come out of that, and we all come out of these things, you want to make sure that you land in a good place. And I feel like I landed in a good place. Like I feel good now because in that whole process of time, we were still laying a foundation of what I'm putting forward now in my business. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for her leadership during this time. When I think about the material in the Jumpstart School of Systems, as I begin to think about that, I was like, that's like, first I was thinking this is like a university. What I love about it, I love the material, I love the courses, I love the videos. But beyond a university, even when you go to a university, you have to pass all the tests, right? When you trying to, and even when you get out, it's different because you could pay $120,000 for schooling that might not benefit you. And what I really like about her, the School of Systems, is that it's a university in the sense that everything is there. Build a 7-figure business, and that's powerful within itself. That you can pay for something you can build a 7-figure business, you can scale, you can go as large as you want. That's how powerful this system is. But everything is done for you. Come on now, that's the key thing. Everything is done. You talking about plug and play for real, like templates to everything. from start to finish. You just gotta, in a sense, only thing you have to bring is knowing what you want. That's it. Everything else is done. And even the university not doing that. I'm sorry. Even the university don't do that. But you have to do the work. You have to study. You have to do the research. You have to do papers. I can go on and on because I have a degree. I have a degree in the business, so I know. I know. When I start thinking about it, I said, wait, this next level, because this stuff already done. I don't even have to do the work. It's done. So that's what I love about the Jumpstart School of Systems. And I think that's the power of this kind of program, is that she's already done the work, and it don't get no better than that. And that she's walked into places where I've struggled. Excuse me, and she's been honest about that. And sometimes I was in classes with my business teachers. Some people don't know nothing about business. What they do know is coursework and books, but they might not know nothing about the experience of business. So one of my biggest takeaways when I think about the School of Systems and being in a program with scale, it was that I could build my business as big as I want. I mean, I could stay at one center, I could stay at 2 centers, but even if my centers had to be torn down and built up again, I could do that and have a vision to scale as large as I want. I mean, and it don't get no bigger than that. A lot of times when we begin to think about freedom, you're thinking about being in a place where you can set yourself free and live the life you want to live as you set yourself free. And the system does that. If you follow the system and that's your mind to do it, and the coaching, I want to add the one-on-one coaching, because sometimes you can have the information but not know how to apply it. And I'm gonna be honest and saying that was me sometimes. I had all the information, but it was like I still needed the one-on-one to know how to apply what I had. And so that was one of my biggest takeaways. Some of the results I got, one of my biggest results, and I was looking at my classrooms today, was my classroom setup. I struggled for years trying to figure out how's this classroom supposed to look. I mean, I would go on all my classroom. I mean, we would switch the classroom around, switch the classroom around, switch the classroom around. And today, like, we just switched both of our classrooms around today. And I mean, your classroom setup, if it's set up the right way, it's like having another person in the room. You know, that's how important that is. And so that was one of the biggest things that I've gotten. I mean, I've struggled with that for a while, but it's like I finally got it, and it felt good. It felt good because that's everything. We start talking about the foundation of your business, and I'm gonna get to the other thing. One of my other results, of course, is office systems. It's the binder system. It's the office systems. It's the foundation. It's the government of your center. But the classroom is the other part. We start talking about hands-on and being able to create an environment that your children can thrive in and you can get maximum results. Your classroom setup is going to be key to that. And so that was a big takeaway for me, a big takeaway. And it came from the hands-on. It came from going into I forgot what it's called, but coach has her whole setup where you can go into the business school. And so, you know, seeing it. See, for me, I like to see it because I'm a visual person. And so that was powerful for me. That was one of my greatest results I got, was that classroom setup, and knowing I set all my classrooms up like that, set everything up the same. You know, we talking about, you know, thinking on the next level. And the other thing was the office system, is knowing how to put my office system in place, is knowing, you know, setting up the binders and what goes in the binders and how you set up your business, and setting up a system that everybody could follow, so that you're not constantly repeating yourself. You're not saying the same thing over and over again. Thank you, God. The last thing I want to say is join. If you're watching this testimonial, then part of you might be thinking, hey, do I want to level up? And, you know, the question really isn't, can I afford it? And I've heard people say this too, is can I afford to continue to go in the direction I'm going in without seeing no change in sight? And so the one thing that I'm grateful for every day is that change is in sight. And sometimes change isn't in the next day and it isn't in the next week. But a lot of times, we can get to the end of our month or year and wonder, hey, what's changed? And, and what I really love about this is that it lays out change for you. It lays out a foundation and a process, and it lays out systems that, in a sense, can replace you if that's what you want. So, if you want to take your business and your life to the next level, this is where it starts. Thanks.